Hi, I'm David, and this time I have something a little different for you. This is a collected company list, and before sort of the initiative took over the format, I wouldn't say it's had like a bunch of really strong showings, but it put up a couple 5.0s. I think it placed in a couple challenges, not very highly. Um, but this is a list that I really wanted to take for a spin now that the new Lord of the Ring cards, and specifically Orcish Bowmasters, is out. So first, let's talk in detail about the deck. So this, you can sort of see the creature count's very high. This is a creature-based deck, 28 creatures. That's a huge number in a legacy deck. Like that's higher than Maverick, that's higher than almost anything. And all the creatures are sort of 3 drops and below. And then there's Collected Company, which not a usual legacy card, much more of like a pioneer card. But this card lets you look at the top 6 of your library and put 2 creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. And interestingly, there's a bunch of cards that are in Legacy that aren't in other formats that Collected Company works pretty strongly with. Notably, Hull Breacher, fantastic against Brainstorm decks. Opposition Agent, fantastic against green decks. Has some applications against fetch lands and Urza Sagas and stuff like that. Um, you have Uro, which is banned from most of those other formats, but very good card. You can put it in, even though it dies, you can then get it back next turn. Also gives you something to do with your mana proactively if you need that. There's always Leovold, and then now there's Orcish Bowmasters, which I suppose is legal in Modern. This card is going to be both good in the deck and good against the deck, so we'll kind of see how that goes. Um, this deck does kind of rely on mana dorks. It runs Dryad Arbor and 4 dorks, and sort of the plan is to power one of these out on turn 1 and get you right into the 3 drops on turn 2. In terms of combos, it has some interesting combos. This is a little bit of a different flair. Some of the decks were running Wasteland and stuff like that. I'm not running Wasteland. Instead, I'm running Boseiju, which can function like a Wasteland, but it can also sort of combo to a degree with Opposition Agent. The opponent can opt out, but basically you can turn it into just it destroys any land. It also counts as a green source. The mana is a little tight in this deck. Yes, it's a blue deck, but this is not running Brainstorm, so you have to be kind of careful. So that's one of the combos. Sort of Opposition Agent with Boseiju. There's Opposition Agent with Marilyn, which is if the opponent can't kill one of them, this is a hard lock. Basically, the opponent nobody draws cards anymore, and at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life and searches their library for a card. If Opposition Agent is in play, they're not searching their library for a card. You're searching their library for a card. So that basically results they can't draw cards anymore. They can't get cards out of their library. Usually, just that means the game's over if they can't kill one of them. And then interestingly, I'm running Gaia Reach Sanitarium, which is a card I've wanted to try. It was bugged on MTGO for a little bit, but I think it's fixed now. And this is each player draws a card, then discards a card, combined with Orcish Bowmasters, combined with Hull Breacher, and combined with Leovold, and combined with Marilyn. This is kind of interesting um, in that you can basically, in the opponent's draw step, cause them to draw another card, which if you have Leovold or you have Hull Breacher, they don't draw the other card, and then they have to discard their card that they drew during their draw step. So this kind of results in eventually you sort of eliminate the opponent's hand and hard lock them out of the game unless they can play an instant. A couple other things worth mentioning. It is a Force of Will deck. The blue count is low, so this is Force of Will is not super reliable. I think we're at 19 or 20 blue cards. And Ether Channeler is a card that hasn't seen much application outside of Alurin where it sees play. But this can take out a Merit Lage, it can take out a Urza Saga token, or it can just draw a card. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Sideboard is a mix of a lot of creatures, more endurances, some artifact and enchantment hate. Murderous Rider is kind of interesting. Sometimes you just need to kill a creature. There aren't outside of Grist, there aren't really cards in this deck that kill creatures. So I'm trying this. I'm not sure that this is a good fit, but we'll see how it goes. Force Negations for the combo deck, Surgical Extraction for the combo decks. This deck used to rely more on Plague Engineer. I've relegated it to 1. I'm going to run more Orcish Bowmasters. And yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to put this through a league. And, you know, I think Orcish Bowmasters is going to be really good, but I'm a little worried about it um, on the other side because it can kill my dorks, or it kind of is a complete own against any Strix and Codals. You know, if the opponent plays a Baleful Strix and you have an Orcish Bowmasters, they just lose the Strix and draw a card and grow your Orc token. So, you know, Orcish Bowmasters is pretty much a hard counter to those cards. Um, yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. On the draw, or on the play rather, Testacular. I feel like this player puts up good showings. That's worrying. We'll see how it goes. This hand looks pretty good. It has Force of Will with no blue card, which is kind of a shame, but it has a turn 1 Noble into a turn 2 Endurance. It's got Endurance if things go wrong. I'm going to keep it, and we'll probably just lead on Tropical into Noble. I could lead on Basic, but in case I draw a black card, I want to keep the Verdant Catacombs so that I can fetch a black source. I might Green Sun Zenith for another Dork on turn 2. We'll see what my opponent shows before I make that decision. It'd be really nice to get the Collected Company going on turn 3. All right, let's go Tropical into Noble. See what my opponent's got. Okay, City of Traders. Is that going to be a Chalice? Sure. That's fine. I'm not a Brainstorm deck, so really I only have the 4 sources. Grist is pretty good. I like that. I think I'm just going to get Grist going. And I'll probably, see, I could fetch a, this could be like, could be some sort of combo deck, or it, well, it's not a combo deck rather, but it could be like a Blood Moon kind of lock deck, but it could be, I don't know, like an initiative deck. Either way, I think Grist is a good choice here. I'm gonna fetch out a Bayou. I'm sort of committed into this not having basics right now, which is bad, but hopefully we can resolve it later. I hope to draw a land next turn. All right, let's make an insect and pass the turn. Oh, and they see that I'm a Force of Will deck. So I like Grist here because if they play an initiative creature, okay, so this looks like some sort of, well, I sort of called it, I guess. All right, you got a Blood Moon. And if he Furies here, I'm going to be very sad. Sad days. Okay. All right. Really wish I had that Force of Will. Oh, used it all on Grist. Okay, I'd really love a land. That'll work. I'll take that. So this gives me a Collected Company at the end of my opponent's turn, which is pretty good. I was worried they were going to take out the Dorks. So, and notably here, I can Collected Company and hope to get a blue card to power the Force of Will. All right, let's do it. Okay, sort of spoiled for choice here. I like Leovold. I like the Ignoble. I like Baleful Strix. I don't think Hull Breacher is going to be relevant in this matchup. The Ignoble, let's see. I don't have Reclamation Sage in the main deck in game 1. Let's pull up the deck list here. So I don't have that. I could get something like Uro is going to be uncastable basically. And I already have Grist. So Leovold's pretty good, but I could also find the Leovold next turn. And could just go for basics off of like Baleful Strix and Ignoble Hierarch. But I'm a little worried about that because of I've seen a Fury, so I'm hesitant to just grab 1-drops. I might grab like Leovold and Baleful Strix. Draw a card, and then that I can still Green Sun here. So I'm going to pick Leovold and Baleful Strix. All right, okay. Any order, and we'll draw a card. All right, that's a good one. Oh, and my opponent has scooped it up. Okay, well, that went easier than I feared. Okay, so this looks like just a Moon Stompy deck list. It's got Furies, usually Chalice and Blood Moon, and then this along with the other Goblin creatures that put 1/1s into play. The Rabblemaster and I can't remember the other one that's like a warrior. Okay, so Force and Negations are definitely a consideration. I think you want a Rec Sage, because this gives you a Green Sun out to that. And I also think Plague Engineer is pretty good as just an out. Getting double black, I think, is going to be too hard for Murderous Rider, so I think I might cut that or just not bring it in. But I think these are the 4 cards that are considerations. Ether Channeler might also be a consideration. But I think that's about it. Let's see here. So Hull Breachers are kind of bad. My opponent is not generally drawing extra cards. I mean, they have Fable of the Mirror Breaker. At the same time, it is a flash creature that can block a Rabblemaster, so it's not the worst. The Maryland combo, I don't hate it. It's a 2/3. It can block a Rabblemaster. I think Uro might be a little difficult to get to. And the Maryland combo with Opposition Agent might be a little fragile. I mean, Opposition Agent has no other application really in this matchup, so I might trim these for these 4, pretty much straight up. So my opponent's not searching their library. They're a Blood Moon deck. They're not running Urza Sagas, so I think these, sort of don't have any application. And then this is kind of an okay out against like a Chalice. It also is another blue card to fuel Force of Negation or Force of Will. So I might bring this in. I might trim a Hull Breacher for it. It's probably better than a Hull Breacher. I'm going to leave in the Collected Companies. 1 green is achievable. So I think this is okay. Endurance isn't bad, but I got to keep my blue count up. So I think I might just stick with this. I think the Bowmasters are okay. Let's go. All right. If this was a green mana, I'd consider it. But I think this hand's just a loser. Like, if you don't draw a land in the first 2 turns, this hand just loses. Despite having Force of Will blue card, and, like literally if this is a fetch land or I have 1 other land, I think this is a keep. With Bird of Paradise, this would be a great hand, but I think it's just not going to work right now. So let's mulligan. This is dicey, but I think I have to keep it. Oh man, this is bad. Okay. I don't like this hand, but I'm going to keep it. It almost has the mana to get to Leovold, so I like having the Rec Sage. It might be the Zenith. It's either the Zenith or the Dryad Arbor, I think, that we're putting back. I think I'd rather just have the Dryad Arbor, so I might actually just put back the Zenith. It also could be the Collected Company. Getting to 4 mana is going to be hard, let's be honest. Alright, I'm going to put back the Collected Company. Hope to draw one later. And we'll see what my opponent's got here. Alright, Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox. Is this going to be a Blood Moon or is this going to be a Rabblemaster? It's a Fable. That's okay. And by okay, I mean it's still very bad. Yeah, it's very hard. This deck is a little slow. Okay, I don't hate that. Might try to bait out something here. So like you play the tropical island and maybe hope to bait out a blood moon. I can't green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor because the Dryad Arbor's in my hand, so I don't really have another play. I might green Sun on the following turn for a dork of some sort. Okay, so my opponent had lands, but now presumably they have gas. Or maybe they drew gas. Is this a Wrapup Master? It is. Okay, well, we're in a bit of trouble. Okay, I don't mind that. So I think this turn we green Sun Zenith for a dork. And just hope to... If I can keep the dork a turn, I'm actually in okay shape. Let's see, I'll get a noble here. If I can keep the dork a turn because I can Rec Sage the flipped Fable, because it's an enchantment, and then the Rec Sage blocks the Rabble Master. I'm still taking a lot of damage here. But I need to kill that reflection soon, or I'm in big trouble. I don't like this. Okay, well that's fine. I can still Rec Sage next turn, assuming there's no Blood Moon. Chalice on one's fine. Ouch. This is a lot of damage. Okay. I think this is good. Let's play the Rec Sage and blow up Reflection of Kiki Jiki. So we blow up the Reflection of Kiki Jiki. We don't worry about the Chalice at all. And we have now a blocker for the Rabble Master, which is good. But if they kill it, I'm in trouble. So I think, yeah, that's probably just game. I think there's nothing I can do to that. I think that's lethal. We'll let my opponent get in for lethal. Yep. So that's 11 damage. Brutal. All right. So just regular old Moon Stompy. Not sure I'm going to board too differently. The endurances are worth a consideration. I don't think the oof is very good here. I think Baleful and Ice Fang are okay. I could see myself like cutting one collected company for an endurance or something like that. I think you want the Force of Negations. They can't hit Fury, but they can hit other things. Yeah, let's cut one collected company for one endurance. Just, it's a good blocker. It can be a combat trick. It can block a Fury, notably. Yeah, we'll go with this. See how it goes. Let's go. Hope we can get a better starting 7. Eesh. This hand is super risky. So I can keep this, play the mana dork, and if the opponent kills the dork on turn 1, like, I might just lose the game. I think I'm gonna mulligan it. I think it's just too risky. And this is worse. Okay. Well, we're keeping this terrible hand. Gotta put 2 cards back. Put back the Hull Breacher, and I guess I want to keep the blue card. I guess I'll put back the Bowmasters. I mean... boy, this is terrible. I'm gonna mull myself to death. Alright, we'll put back this, and we're just gonna hope for the best. Brutal. brutal mulligans. The first hand is much better than this. My opponent can chalice, and that's fine. But I'll probably force a turn 1 play here. Yeah, well, gotta force that. So hopefully I draw a land, and then I can green sun for a dork. Well, I'll take that. So I don't hate ignoble here. It's either ignoble or bird. I'll probably take the ignoble. It unlocks black, which could be relevant. We'll take the ignoble. But my opponent could just go second Rabble Master here, and I'm kind of in big trouble. Not as worried about it like a... Okay. The old dead gone. Okay. So drawing a land off the top would be pretty good here, but if I don't, I'm going to die real fast. And life comes at you cruelly. Brutal. Dryad Arbor doesn't have haste. Anyway, okay. So they get another big attack here. If they have Fury, okay, dead gone my other creature. Nothing I can really do here. I think this is not lethal next turn, but it's almost lethal the following turn. If I can draw a land though, Rexage, the Chrome Mox, and all right, well, nothing I can do here. This is almost lethal. I think I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll go to 4. So yeah, pretty much almost any play of my opponent's would kill me. All right. And I don't think there's anything I can do. Yeah, so that doesn't work. All right, good games. All right, on the draw, another good player. This player plays a variety of things, but frequently Delver and Doomsday, I want to say. Boy, again, the Dryad Arbor in my hand. I'm going to mulligan this. Had pretty bad mulligan luck today. This hand has like no plan at all. Like I play a land, force a turn 1 play, have no cantrips. Need to draw a land that plays the Ice Fang. I don't even have a Green Sun Zenith for a dork or anything. I think I have to mulligan this too. Well, I have a keepable hand, so we're keeping it. I think I'm pretty far off of Uro. I might put back one of the dorks. It'll be the Ignoble, or the Noble. And then maybe I'll put back, it's either Uro or Slowgurk. I'll put back Uro. Pretty bad mulligan luck today. Okay. Basic Mountain. All right. Well, I'm going to fetch Basic Forest in case my opponent is on a Blood Moon deck. And just play the Ignoble. I can't cast Marilyn here. I don't have double black without drawing something. Lightning Bolt. That's fine. Is this a Blood Moon again? No, Fable. Okay. Well, there's my Uro. So no play until I can get another dork or a land. Which has been sort of the story of the day so far, story of the league. I'll get a good idea of what my opponent's playing now. Okay, so this is probably a Painter variant. I get a treasure. land would be very good. It's pretty good. Trinisphere. That is fine. Doesn't do anything to me. A land would be my best draw. Can't cast the Dork because of the Trinisphere. So this is where we're in big trouble. Maybe I should have kept the Dork, the second Dork in my starting hand, but you know, it's turn 4. I hope to draw another land. But this game is probably almost over if I can't get one more land here. Okay. Well, all my Force of Wills are on. I can't cast this. I mean, I guess we'll just play another couple turns. We're stuck under this Trinisphere. Yep. Swap the treasure for the Great Furnace. I think that's just about game. So they get the Grindstone, swap the Great Furnace for the Grindstone, and then Grindstone me. I wonder if they go for it right here. I mean, they should. Yeah, okay. I see. The line is on the table. We'll concede the game. Okay. So up against Painter. I don't mind these. I think you definitely bring in Rex Sage. Oof is good. Masked Vandal is probably even a fit. Plague Engineer can kill Welders. I'm not sure I need it though. I have 3 Orcish Bowmasters. And it doesn't really do anything else. And Force Negation is a consideration. I guess Murderous Rider also could kill a creature. I guess it has application, so yeah. My opponent has multiple searches, although their Goblin Engineer is a May, so probably not very good there. Could cut the Maryland, because this is kind of a fast deck where I need like every, it's going to be hard to get the hooks in with Opposition Agent in Maryland, but I mean maybe that's my win con. You know, is it weird that I'm considering like boarding down the Force of Wills and boarding in this stuff? Just because if I also, like, the Hull Breachers don't have a lot of application either. I'm considering like boarding out something like this. I mean, maybe even a Collected Company and bring in something like this. It's probably better than bringing in the Force Negations. It's kind of crazy to not bring in Force Negation though, or not to board out Force of Wills in a combo matchup. So maybe that's just crazy talk. Maybe we board out this. I think at least these two. Definitely boarding out those two. Definitely bring in a Rex Sage and a Collector Roof. I like the Boseiju. I like the Orcish Bowmasters. Probably bringing in at least this. They can shut off Masked Vandal, but it's pretty good. Maybe I'll board like this. It's kind of a weird boarding, but I'm boarding down Force of Wills. I wonder if that's even worse. I'm going to board out 1 Opposition Agent, leaving the Force of Will. We'll call it like this. Not sure how to board in this deck. Jeez. Dried Arbor, I feel, has been in my opening hand like at least 3 out of 5 games. maybe even more. Yeah, it's just a really slow hand. I guess I could open with the Dryad Arbor and then force if they try to kill it. I'm gonna keep it. This is gonna be strange, but I'm gonna play the Dryad Arbor and force if they try to kill it, and then I can Green Sun for a dork afterward. Otherwise, I would like to Green Sun for a Collector Roof. Yeah, I guess it depends on what I draw. All right, let's play the Dryad Arbor. We'll see what they have. My draws have been pretty rough tonight. Pretty rough. But I kind of feel like I have to protect this Dryad Arbor. The mana base is proven. Like I feel like the mana base is actually even better in this list than like the stock list in those challenges. I think some of them were running like 20, and that included like 2 wastelands. I'm running, the only land that I have that doesn't tap for mana or tap for colored mana is Gaia Reach Sanitarium. So I'm running more colored sources, more green sources. Yeah, I don't know. It's been rough. So I'm gonna fight over this. All right. Okay, I don't mind that. So let's go swamp, and then we're gonna Green Sun and get a dork, and really hope they don't have Fury. And I will get a Noble. Fury is so strong against this deck, I feel. That's fine. So we'll play the Ether Channeler and bounce the token. And open ourselves up even more to Fury. Bounce the token, and then we're gonna attack with the Dryad Arbor for 2. So next turn, either Grist or Slowgurk. Slowgurk's not as good without like some sort of fetch land or other land in my graveyard. Okay. My opponent discards Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Pretty good. I did bring in, oh man, and they have it if I can't get something going. I should have brought in more endurances. Oh, and they have 2 of them. Okay, so Grist the Hunger Tide doesn't even do it. That's pretty brutal. Okay, so I can't Grist the Welder. I could Grist the Dragon Engine, but that's not actually that good. All right. Well, we're swinging with the Ether Channeler. Try to get in at least 3 points of damage. And then I'm considering here. See, this thing doesn't have haste, right? No, it does have double strike. I think I want to play the Slowgurk. I'll hide the Grist, and that way, like, because if I play the Grist and tick up, I have 4 1 toughness creatures, and they can just Fury all 4 of them, which would be very sad. And then I'll save the Grist for killing the Fable, the Reflection, rather. Boy, I really needed those endurances. I mean, Yeah, it's really tight slots. I probably should have brought those in. I mean, against a deck that really relies on the graveyard. All right. We'll play Slogurk here. We're going to tap like this. And I'll just pass. Notably, if I sack the Dryad Arbor to Grist, Slogurk gets bigger, and it gives me something to get with Slogurk whenever Slogurk leaves the battlefield. So my opponent can get the Phyrexian Dragon Engine kind of at any time. Really love to draw that Orcish Bowmasters. That'd be really nice to kill those welders for almost nothing. Or kill at least one of them. And is it whenever it attacks? No, it's whenever it enters the battlefield. Yeah, okay. Okay, so they're just pyroblasting it, and since there are no lands in my graveyard, I get no value off of Slogurk the Overslime. Boy, this has been rough. They discard their hand and draw 3. They had two lands, so they were totally out of gas there. But now they've refueled. Oh man, and with an engineer, this game is slipping away very quickly. That is the game. So this causes me to sacrifice my board, and then at the beginning of my upkeep, my opponent can put a creature from my graveyard into the battlefield. This game's over. Sad days. Well, I'm at least looking okay on mana. I have nothing, no play until turn 3. No force, no nothing. I think I have to mulligan this again, even though the mana's okay. Like, can I really go until turn 3 without casting a spell and expect to win a Legacy game? I think the answer is no. Okay, the mana's a little dicey, but this is better. I'm going to put back the Dryad Arbor, which I don't ever want to see in my starting hand again. So I'll keep this and put back the Dryad Arbor, and we'll hope for the best. I can fetch it on turn 1 off the Boseiju. All right. Okay. Uh-oh. Is this some sort of turn 1 sneak attack? I mean, I've got to force it. The question is, do I pitch Uro? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to pitch Uro here. And my opponent fights over it and wins. Okay. I actually think, okay, so I have an interesting play here. I can actually Boseiju next turn if my opponent doesn't go off, which is what I would like to do. So even though I'm showing my opponent something here, I'm going to fetch out, I guess I've shown them blue already, so I'm going to fetch out a Bayou and just get a Dryad Arbor. So the goal here is just to ramp, but if they don't go off next turn, I can Boseiju the sneak attack. And I will definitely do that. But if they have it this turn, I'm kind of dead. What did they pitch? They pitched a Daze. Okay. Actually, I don't hate that. I can just bounce the sneak attack. Let's do that. I think that's even better. All right. Okay. Cool. So they see that I'm a Force of Will deck. They haven't seen actually that much. I guess they saw Otawara. So this looks like Sneak and Show. Sneak and Show is pretty good. I think I definitely want all of this. The carpets are a maybe. Rexage is for sure. And probably Masked Vandal is in. There aren't a lot of ways to get creatures into my graveyard, so it's possible it's not that good. I mean, there just aren't a lot of ways to get creatures into my graveyard. Still might bring it in though. And Murderous Rider, it's okay. It can kill like a Grizzlebrand, but it can't kill. It can't kill Emrakul, but it could kill Grizzlebrand, or it could kill Atraxa. So I might bring that in. And this is a maybe. All right, I think that's good. I think Orcish Bowmasters is good because they're run Grizzlebrand, so I think that's fine. Opposition Agent and Maryland are maybes. I might trim these. I think Slowgurk is too slow in this matchup, as is probably Collected Company. So some number of these are probably getting cut. I'm wondering if I could trim a Dork for a carpet. That seems reasonable, especially if I bring in 2 carpets. Okay, so this is 7 for 7 of these. I think that's good. Maybe trim like an Ice Fang. I'm hesitant to trim blue cards, but I think it's okay. Because Ice Fang does basically, like, it's hard to get the mana. Like, Ice Fang's a long-term card, and I'd rather have Baleful Strix in the matchup, I guess is the right answer. So I'm going to start with this. I'm wondering actually though, like, maybe I'd rather trim a Collected Company. We'll do this. I think this is okay. We'll see if we can beat Sneak and Show. I mean, I'm gonna run it. This has everything you could hope for, basically, other than another land. Grafdigger's Cage. Well, now I can't cast the Green Sun. I think I have to force a negation this, sadly. And this plays right into Daze, too. But I think I have to. I mean, otherwise I just don't get Green Sun Zenith going. Because I really needed this. Like, without this, I only have 1 land. But if my opponent, like, tries to turbo a sneak attack, I have the Rexage. Or turbo a show and tell. A fetch land off the top would be fantastic. I would love to play. I don't even know. Maybe I'd hold up Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, my opponent fetched. Okay, well, I have the Rexage, but I don't think I'm going to cast it. I think I'm just going to hold up here, and I might use the Gaia Reach Sanitarium, which seems weird to use against a combo deck, but I got to really smooth my draws. Okay, and if they, I guess if they just have Sneak Attack here into a permanent, like, that's very bad for me. So if they have it here, I'm just kind of dead. I guess it depends on what it is. If it's Emrakul, I'm definitely dead. It is Emrakul. All right. Well, they've got this game. There's no way I'm winning this. Okay. That was unfortunate. All right. So if they're going to run that, if they're going to run Grafdigger's Cage, I think I'm because that actually puts creatures in from your library, so that actually doesn't work. So I think I'm definitely cutting the last collected company, even though that card's pretty good. And then the question is, what do I want? Like, Surgical's not horrendously unreasonable. Endurance isn't unreasonable. Collector Roof isn't unreasonable. I think any of those are okay, at least. Huh. I think they have too many between Surgical and, or between Show and Tell and Sneak Attack. I think the Surgical's probably not good. Probably just bring in the Collector Roof. It's a 2/2. Turns off the Lotus Petals. Their lands are actually a little dicey too, so we'll see if we can do better. This hand's not great, but I'm gonna keep it and hope to draw into something. It's a little questionable, but I think it's okay. This would have been a fine hand if they had the Grafdigger's Cage. That's pretty good, although it doesn't necessarily, like, I can't do that for another 2 turns. Okay. Whoa, what's going on over there? Now I'm kind of flooding a little bit. I'm going to attack and hold up the Ice Fang. This sort of gives my opponents some weird vibes. Like, they know I have probably a variety of, like, flash creatures. Could be Endurance, could be a Hull Breacher. I don't think they've seen a Hull Breacher, but maybe their land is just too dicey. Alright, there's the Ice Fang. I like that. Okay, Emrakul. That tells me they've got some stuff. I like that too. Okay. Well, I think we hold up here. Like, we can cast the Hull Breacher at the EOT. If they somehow get something in, I can Otawara. So I think we just play this and swing out. Cast the Hull Breacher at the end of turn, or if they, like, Brainstorm. And, you know, we have an escape hatch with Otawara if something goes horribly wrong. Doesn't really solve, like, a sneak attack problem, though. Okay. What's this? Vesuvan Drifter. Okay. Okay. I have the beginning of combat. Okay, well, I can't counter it. Let's see what this is. It's nothing. So let's cast the Hull Breacher. All right. Endurance is okay. Okay, so I have a few options here. I can Green Sun. Presumably they have some Forces of Will. But Green Sun would actually be pretty good here. Like, I could get Grist and then kill the Vesuvan Drifter. But I'm assuming it's going to get forced. It's probably still a good play. we'll do this. I'll sack the Ice Fang if they don't force it. But let's force them to have something. Okay, well, we're killing that thing for sure. And it's just a... yeah, it's just a creature. Okay, well, let's get grist. Sack the Ice Fang. Kill the Vesuvian Drifter. There's like some consideration to leaving up the Baleful, but okay. Well, they get to wipe my board. That's sad days. They literally get everything here. Man, that is a mega value Fury. Uro is pretty good. Can I cast it and... I guess if I draw a land, I could potentially cast it and put it in. I would need to draw like a fetch land. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. I have exactly the number of... Let's get a forest. I don't know if I'm gonna actually do this, but let's try it. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna tap this one. Blue, green, black. And we'll cast Uro. All right. That will do it. That'll at least... oh, will it? Yeah, it will. I can put Uro into play at least. Well, let's put him into play. So blue, blue, green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All right. Love to draw like a Force of Will. Not putting that onto the battlefield. So we'll just be done. And hope they don't have it this turn. You have a Brainstorm. Okay. They were probably waiting for some red mana here. This could be trouble. Okay, you have a sneak attack. You got a pedal. No pedal. So I can bounce the sneak attack, but I'm not actually sure that's what I want to do. That's not a terrible draw, actually. Let's swing. This turns off the Ancient Tombs. Actually, you know, I'm wondering if I turn off the Ancient Tombs, like, my opponent can't really cast the sneak attack. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so I have a couple things that I can do. I can Otawara for 3 mana, because it's reduced by 1 due to a legendary. That seems pretty good. I wonder, do I even have a fetchable land with this? I might not, actually. I might actually... I guess I have the Dryad Arbor. I think that's all I have. I don't think I have another... I don't think I have another fetchable land. 2 drops, an Underground Sea, 2 forests, the Swamp, the Bayou, and the Arbor. So yeah, I can actually fetch a land that taps for mana this turn. The Otawara takes blue. So my opponent's at 2. So I think what we do here is we cast the Hull Breacher. I think let's open with that. So let's go green, green, and blue. We'll cast the Hull Breacher. See if my opponent's got anything. If they force, no force. Okay. We're gonna bounce the sneak attack. Blue, black. Oh man, I am short with the Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Oh man, this is a shame. All right, I guess we just... yeah, I guess we'll just do the Otawara now before they can untap. And this. We'll bounce the sneak attack. Yeah, okay, got the one. Okay, well, good to be on the board finally. All right, on the draw. I don't recognize this name. Hopefully, we've started a trend with the win in round 3. We've definitely keeping up our trend of busted mana base. Do I keep a 1-land, 2-dork hand? I'm gonna keep it and gamble. I don't love this, but so it goes. I feel like every game's been kind of bad, but at least on the draw, I have 2 draws to draw land. Lava Spike. Okay. So this has got to be a burn deck. Okay. I think I'm just gonna play the Boseiju into Ignoble. Really need to get my Uros going. That's how you beat burn. So hopefully I can get that going. Okay, well, that's fine. Better the Ignoble than me. All right, I'm gonna play the Verdant. I think I'm still gonna ramp here. I could have held up the Orcish Bowmasters, but I think I'd rather have the Noble. All right, 3 to me. I mean, I guess you just attack and hold up Orcish Bowmasters here. I'll probably fetch just basic basic swamp with the Verdant. Keep Lava Spiking. Really need a Green Sun Zenith would be really good, or just Uro. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So I can play the Ether Channeler for a land. I can play the Orcish Bowmasters to ping my opponent and grow the Orc army, and then attack for 3. I don't think my opponent's gonna draw cards, so I'm not sure the Hull Breacher's that good. I think I'm just gonna attack with just the Orc army. The only reason why I'm hesitant to play the Ether Channeler to draw a card, I guess that's not bad. Maybe I just play the Ether Channeler to draw a card. The Hull Breacher does grow the damage one faster, but I'm going to use this to draw a card. Okay, I don't mind that. Let's pass the turn, and my intention here is to Orcish Bowmasters at the end of turn. Another burn spell to my face. So no, I'm wondering if I should not Orcish Bowmasters here, actually, just to have one extra life. Like that could be relevant. I think I'm going to pass, actually. I'm leaning toward actually just playing the Collected Company right now. Let's see. What could I hit that would be relevant? Uro would be extremely relevant. I could hit Leovold, which would be somewhat relevant. I could draw a card into a Force of Will. Yeah, well, let's. I'm gonna play this just to start. All right. Okay, nothing super good. I think you do want the Ice Fang Coatl here, and probably just Hull Breacher to increase the clock. Okay. All right. Really need something to gain some life. My opponent has a handful of cards. And that's the kind of wish this was an Uro. Okay, so I can Orcish Bowmasters, which will grow this to 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's still a 2-turn clock, I guess. So I think it's fine to just attack and hold up. Let's see. Oh, you know, actually, I had lethal there with double Orcish Bowmasters. That was a mistake. Hopefully it doesn't cost me. I could have... Okay, well, it didn't cost me. Yeah, I could have double Orcish Bowmasters, do 2 more damage, grow the Orc army by 2, and that would have been lethal. Fortunately, it didn't cost me anything. Okay, so against Burn, looks like Rexage is actually pretty good because it hits that 2-mana creature that all spells 2 or less, or 3 or less deal 2 damage. So that's pretty good. I don't hate Endurance. I don't hate Force of Negation. So probably this is for sure, and then these are maybes. I think everything else is kind of not so good. I think Marilyn of the Mornsong, like, I can't be losing life. Like, this is definitely out. And if that's out, my opponent's not searching their library, so I think that the opposition agents are probably out. That brings in this. I'll bring in the Force of Negations. I'll bring in 1 Endurance. think the rest of these are probably okay. I don't see anything obviously bad here. Yeah, let's go with this. We'll go with this, hope for the best. We have to be careful to fetch basics as much as possible. They could be a deck that runs whatever you call it. I'm gonna keep this. This feels decent enough. Goblin Guide. Nothing I can do to that. Collected Company. Okay. So I'm going to play the fetch land because depending on what they show me next turn, I might fetch it away. I'm going to bring up my own cards. Okay, I do not want a Hull Breacher. Lava Spike. I'll take it. Barbarian Ring. Okay. I definitely don't want this. And so I want something that I want Bayou basically here. We'll go Bayou because I need to be able to cast the Baleful Strix. And I'll pass the turn. The Verdant's not a bad draw. My life total is a problem. I really want to get to Uro though. Chain Lightning targeting me. Sure. Not so good. My opponent does not attack. Okay. Well, here, let's see here. I'm considering getting an attack in. I think that's probably unwise. Like, if they have 2 creatures, that would be not smart. Like a second haste creature. Well, let's see. Lightning Bolt. I cannot force of negation this, so I just take it. Okay, well, I have to force of negation this, and I will pitch, I guess, the Ether Channeler. No, I'll pitch the Hull Breacher. And we're definitely hitting my opponent's deck to turn off the Barbarian Ring. Okay, well, we're gonna Collected Company at some point. I guess, is Collected Company better than Green Sun Zenith? I think you have to Collected Company first, because I don't think Uro actually is that good here. I guess we'll hold up here. There was a consideration for doing it right away in case my opponent just has a burn spell, like an instant, but so we'll see. Okay, so they have that. I'm going to Collected Company, and I kind of need to draw either a draw spell or an Uro, or I can just lose the game. Wow. Total whiff. All right. They got me. Guess I should have Uro'd. Okay. Sounds fine. All right, I don't think I make any changes here. Deck still feels okay. I mean, you know, any burn deck has to be kind of afraid of Uro. I don't know if I bring in more endurances against. I think probably the 2 endurances is enough against whatever barbarian ring. I think this is good. Okay, this hand is terrible. Like, I have all 3 collected companies, Dryad Arbor, and Force of Will. I have had the worst mulligan luck today. All right, this is better. I'll keep this. We're going to bottom the Dryad Arbor. And I'll Green Sun Zenith for it. So I'm going to keep, bottom, done. So now the question is, do I want to try to get double blue up? I think I'm not force negationing, like, let's just go for it. We're just going to get a tropical island here. It does leave me open to Price of Progress, but I think I need to get the I think I need to get to Uro to win this game under most conditions. All right, you have a Goblin Guide. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, well, let's play Swamp, just in case I draw like Noble Hierarch or something. Okay, yeah, let's just play the Forest. And I can collect a company next turn. I guess it was a consideration to play the fetch land to fetch away whatever they reveal off Goblin Guide. All right. Leovold feels not so good. But it can be pitched to force a negation, which is relevant. I will play the Verdant, and I'm just going to pass. I really want to fetch something with blue with that Verdant in order to cast the Uro eventually, but I guess we'll see. What is this? Chain Lightning targeting me. That's fine. No. Skewer the Critics. 3 damage to any target. Targeting me. So go into 11? Yeah, I guess that's fine. All right. What are they going to reveal? They're going to reveal an Ice Fang Coatl, which is okay. All right. So I think I don't want the Ice Fang. I think I want to fetch out here. I'll fetch a Underground Sea. Yep. And we're going to cast the Collected Company. So, and I might even block with the Dryad Arbor. That's why I left it up. Okay, well, this will do. So, okay. So here's how this works. We'll any order that. The Orcish Bowmasters will ping here. I'll draw a card. Not a bad draw. And then I think I'm not going to block here quite yet with Dryad Arbor because I need the double green. So we'll go to blocks. Orc Army blocks here. Baleful Strix blocks here. All right. That's pretty good. Cleared the board. I need one more creature in my graveyard. And that will actually do it. So I'm just going to cast Uro here. And I'll fetch a forest. I'm going to fetch just basic forest. Forest. So I have blue, blue, green, green. Yeah, okay, good. Let's cast Uro. Blue, blue, green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. And that's pretty good. No. And I'm just going to attack with the Orcish Bowmasters here. I can cast the second Orcish Bowmasters at the end of turn, which I will definitely do. And then I have Force of Will if they have something that kills Uro. Alright, Rift Bolt's fine. Pyroblast is not fine. Pyroblast is not fine. So I'm going to definitely Force of Negation this. And I'm going to pitch Leovold. Yeah, hope to draw a blue card for Force. Alright, now I guess I can leave up Hardcast Force too. I'm going to leave back a blocker just in case too. You know, that blocker might be Bird of Paradise. Let's see, so I'm attacking for 9. That puts a 2-turn clock. That feels pretty good. We'll keep that. All right, and I'm just going to cast the Bird of Paradise, which I will absolutely block with if the opponent, attacks me with a creature. I'm pretty sure I'm blocking. Rift Bolt's not going to do it. I'm at 15. I don't know what they got here, so casting it. Targeting me. Okay, definitely not countering that. Not worried about being at 12. All right. Well, started a trend, was able to hold off against Burn, which I guess Uro is able to do that. All right, on the draw again. Not familiar with this opponent. I think this hand's okay. You know, it has an Ice Fang at least, and it's got Force, so I think it's got game in a couple matchups. And if I can draw a land, I can get to my turn 3 spells. So I think this is okay. Or a Green Sun Zenith or a Mana Dork. Any of those will get me to my turn 3 spells. Let's see. Okay, Urza's Saga. This deck can struggle with Saga decks a little bit. The Rex Sage is in the sideboard, and the Ether Channeler can bounce the tokens, but let's see. Exploration. I'm considering forcing that, but I think I'm going to let it go. Yeah, I think I'll let it go. Oh, Rashad Port's brutal. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that. They have to exile their ancient tomb. All right, so I can present a Misty Rainforest here, and then they'll have to decide whether to port it or Saga, probably. All right, so they are not porting, most likely. Nope. All right. So I think I'm just going to pass and let them do their business. It's a shame I can't get the opposition agent out before they get the Saga going, but so it goes. Yep. I have to fetch here to make sure they don't get Pithing Needle. I really want to get a basic, but I also really want to get a swamp. I think I'm just going to ignore basics for now and get a swamp. We'll see what they have. I'm going to need help against those constructs, though. Like, Ether Channeler does a lot of work here. Otherwise, I guess Grist can kill one of them. The Baleful Strix will be pretty good too, I guess. Assuming they don't have something like Punishing Fire. My opponent's having a good think about what to fetch. Okay, Expedition Map. That feels okay. Alright. Got a fetch land. Nothing I'm doing to this. I almost have to like stem the bleeding with, let's see, blue, green. I think I almost have to stem the bleeding with Baleful Strix just to not die here. I really wish that was a land. Land would be good. It's not a bad one actually. So I think I want a Baleful Strix plus Dryad Arbor here. I think that's better than the alternative. Yeah. All right. Let's go blue. We'll Dryad Arbor, or get at least a blocker going. That's not a bad draw. I don't hate that. I think I still want to go for the Dryad Arbor. My opponent does have a port, so I have a blocker. And I might just even leave up the Ice Fang. Like, I don't think the 1 damage is going to matter. Yep. You've got a Taiga. Alright, let's see what my opponent's got here. They fetched a Taiga at the EOT. Life from the Loam. Oh. Somehow I was 6th through the turn. I thought I'd taken that off. Alright, you have a box. Pitch that Windswept Teeth again. You have a Saga, which is bad. Let's see if they attack. Yes. Okay. Well, definitely blocking here. I think I can save 1 more point of damage by blocking with the Ice Fang next turn. And if I can somehow get get 2 basics, like, that does a lot of work. So I think I might just take 6 and block 1. Although, yeah. Okay. Cracking the map now. which I don't like that. They played only one land this turn. I think they can play another land. They could use it to port me. Force of Negations and the Endurance will be pretty good next turn. Wasteland. Not surprising. I guess that sort of functions similarly to port right now. Okay, not doing anything. Porting. So I can Collected Company here, which I don't hate. I think I like that better than some alternatives. Let's do that. So let's Collected Company. Ooh, that's a thing. I don't like that they are going to be able to search their library here. I'm debating whether to even get Maryland. I guess I could force whatever they play unless it's a land. I think we have to gamble to win. Let's do it. I can always block, I guess, with Maryland too. I don't really want to do that. Okay. Oh, I get to search first. That's kind of bad because my life total is a problem. Okay. So I could get an Ether Channeler. Could get an Ether Channeler. Could get an Uro. Uro is kind of prevented by the Soul Guide Lantern, so my life total is going to be a problem. I guess we'll just get the Ether Channeler. Gives me a sort of an out to the Urza Saga tokens. I'll play this, and I think just attack. I'm going to block with the Hull Breacher. So my opponent gets to search their library. I have to kill the Maryland next turn. So my opponent gets to search their library for any card. They don't have to reveal. So they could just have a win here. Interestingly, they can no longer dredge Life from the Loam because they can't draw cards. Kind of a weird interaction. I think I might still block with the Maryland. Just to preserve my life total. Let's see, I could double block and kill it. It forces them to use the thing. Maybe I will do that actually. Like, I get the hooks in with Maryland next turn, but I don't think I survive. Like, yeah, I don't think I survive. My opponent has 2 cards in hand, one of which they searched out. Yeah, let's do this. Let's kill the thing. Bolt me. They're bolting my face? Well, I guess I have to force this. All right. Okay. So they're going to wasteland or port me in the upkeep. And I can choose to cast Opposition Agent or not. Okay, well, they're not giving me a choice. Okay. So I think here actually, I think I'd rather have the Opposition Agent. Yeah, they'll lose the Saga. They'll still be able to port me. But let's do that. I'm going to cast the Opposition Agent and just pass. I'm leaving up all my blockers. The fact that my opponent has lightning bolts is very worrying, because now like I'm hesitant to crack this fetch land. But I'll get to see exactly what's in their hand in a sec, unless they have something here. Yep. Okay, so let's see what's in their hand. They have Life from the Loam and Exploration. That's a problem. Well, I'm getting Pithing Needle, but I'm going to take a snip of this. Take the Pithing Needle. So they have one more Lightning Bolt in the whole deck, so not as big of a worry. So we'll take that. They have an Exploration and a Life from the Loam. Okay. Alright, so the question here is, do I block with the Dryad Arbor or do I block with the Ether Channeler? Or sorry, do I block with the Dryad Arbor or do I block with the Ice Fang? I'm going to block with the Dryad Arbor, I think. Yep. Now my opponent can Life from the Loam. And they can play a Wasteland too. That's pretty bad. Yep. You have a Saga. You have a Wasteland. Yep. Really would like a land. Boy, maybe I made a mistake losing that Dryad Arbor. Alright. Because now I kind of want to bounce the Ether Channeler, or I want to bounce a token, but they can Urza Saga. But if I can Pithing Needle the Urza Saga as well, I think I'm in trouble now. I think I was already in trouble, but I think I'm in bigger trouble now. I think you just have to do the Ether Channeler, bounce a token, and I can get in with the Opposition Agent. I think this is going to be a very hard matchup to beat Loam with Wasteland and Port. That's going to be pretty hard to beat. and a maze. That's going to be incredibly hard to beat. Nothing I can do to that. Then they port me probably an upkeep. It's kind of interesting. Let's cast the Pithing Needle. Okay, well, I'm going to name Urza's Saga. And I guess I just passed the turn here. Couldn't draw a, never drew that third land. You got it. Gore Scorcher. Cool. Let's not take anything. He's got Dark Depths and Life from the Loam in hand. So port's going to be a problem. I have to block with the Ice Fang. Could block with both. I don't know if that's very good. It almost certainly is not. The old double port. Alright, no point to attacking. Opponent has Maze. I can cast the next Orcish Bowmasters next turn. Alright, removing the ice counter from Dark Depths. I guess my opponent has Blast Zone, which is potentially trouble. Not really, I guess. Like, not sure it does enough here. I guess they could blow it up for one. To turn on the Pithing Needle. I'm going to just block with the Orc Army, just to chump. At this point, I think I'm running my opponent's clock down more than anything. Don't think I'm doing a very effective job of running my opponent's clock down. Let me turn off yield through turn and attack with all creatures. Let's see, yeah, we'll do that. I don't think my opponent... What just happened? That was weird. Thought I clicked attack with all creatures. Guess it doesn't really matter. My opponent was only going to take one, but sure. But yeah, not doing a very effective job of actually taking off my opponent's clock, but they are behind almost 3 minutes, so maybe it will be relevant. Taking up the blast zone to 2. Can take out 2 Orcish Bowmasters, but doesn't really do a lot. You're gonna, I guess you could dredge Loam with that. Okay, there's the lightning bolt, so nothing to fear now. Okay. The construct is now a 3/3. Nothing I can do to that. Sure. Okay. Oh, my opponent didn't actually cast anything here. Huh. Well, I think I know what that means. I think that means... Ooh. I did not realize my opponent has Yavimaya. That makes things interesting. I can actually cast this now. I don't think I want to. And I don't think Grist is better than Endurance. I'm going to probably do this in my opponent's upkeep. Let's see what my opponent does here. I guess the Blast Zone's on 2. Okay, let's cast this. And so now I can actually get one of their artifacts when Urza's Saga searches up. So that'll be kind of interesting. Sure, Dark Depths is down to 8. Down to 6. All right, I will take one of your artifacts. So I can take the Expedition Map, a Shadow Spear, which is kind of interesting, or Soul Guide Lantern. Considering what my opponent's got, the Soul Guide Lantern may not be bad. The Expedition Map also isn't that bad. I'll get another one next turn. Maybe I'll take the Soul Guide here. Maybe I'll take the Expedition Map here. Yeah, let's take that. Does this put the land in tapped? No, untapped. Okay, they're blowing up the Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. Nothing I can do with the mana here, so they'll probably do something in my draw step. Okay. Okay. Well, nothing I'm doing to that. We'll play Gaia Reach and cast the Expedition map. And if they choose to wasteland that, that's fine. I'm not attacking here, so I'm going to just pass the turn. I can Collected Company on their turn, or on my next turn if they don't have something. I assume they're going to wasteland me here. Going to blow up my stuff. Nope, going to tick up to 2. Ticking up to 3, actually. Ooh, I missed that. I think that's just lethal. So I blow up the blast zone here. Yep. Okay. Got me. Okay. Okay. Well, I definitely want all the endurances. I want Rex Sage. I want surgicals. And Force of Negations are definitely better than Force of Wills. Ether Channeler is a consideration. I don't think the Hull Breachers do much of anything here. And the Orcish Bowmasters also aren't very good. I can probably swap Force of Wills for Force of Negations. But maybe I don't want to cut all of the Force of Wills. There aren't that many spells that they have that I care about, but it's probably better than nothing. Marilyn of the Morn Song. I'm going to leave it in just in case. It is legendary and they're a Caracas deck. Maybe that's enough to bring it out. I think the rest of this is pretty good. Maybe I'll trim all of the Orcish Bowmasters. I don't think this card matters very much in this matchup. So let's trim this. We're definitely bringing in this. We're definitely bringing in these. And then I can't see any world where I don't bring in 4 endurances against lands. It's probably better than Hull Breacher. The only reason why you need Hull Breachers is as blue cards. That's sort of the only thing you need them for. But I think I'd rather just have Ether Channeler. That can kill a Merit Lage. Alright. Maybe Uro's bad, actually. Like, I have no way to deal with Caracas. I wonder if I would rather have Hull Breacher than Uro. Yeah, we'll go with 1 anyway. Alright, let's see if we can get get lucky or at least play for some sort of timeout or something. I think I do have the tools against this deck. So we'll see. Oh, my opponent is disconnected. So I wonder if they'll... I mean, if they can't reconnect, I guess they'll fail to sideboard and just submit. I mean, maybe they've already submitted. No, because if they'd submitted, it would have already gone. Okay, so they joined and were able to get there. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I'm going to keep this. I can fetch basics out with these 3. They are running a Ghost Quarter, but I have 5 basics, so I'll at least have a few options. And if they don't kill the Noble, I'll play the Leovold on turn 2. If they do, I'll play the... I guess I can't play the Baleful Strix on turn 2 if they kill the Noble, because I'm going to fetch a basic. Or I'm just going to play a basic, rather. They mulligan to 5, which is pretty dicey. I don't really have anything that deals with like a fast Merit Lage other than blocking with Baleful Strix. Let's see. I wonder if it's a dicey 5. They might just be considering it. All right. Okay. You got it. You have like a loam or something? Loam would be pretty annoying. Well, nothing I'm going to do to that. That's one of the worst draws in the deck, but so it goes. I'll get the basic swamp and cast Leovold here. That's a good card because it sort of helps me against Ghost Quarter, it helps me against Port. Even if they Caracas me, it's still something. Well, there's a Wasteland, which doesn't currently do anything. They can't get an Exploration. Why did I talk? Why did I talk? They can play the land, play a... I guess they can play 2 lands, and they didn't dredge the loam, actually. Oh, they did dredge the loam. They dredged a loam with loam. All right, well, Leovold gets some things in. Okay, so I can Endurance here and take both of those loams. That feels pretty good. I'm going to do that pre-combat, actually. So I'm gonna fetch Island here. And we'll just do it pre-combat. This shuts off both loams, so I think Endurance is what I want. I think that's better than Rex Sage for exploration. I think I'd rather just Endurance both loams back to their hand. They have at least 3 lands in their hand that they mold. The Ancient Tomb, the Windswept Heath, and the Wasteland, so... We'll start with this. Let's see if I draw something better. Nope. Well, you've killed Leovold. Wasteland doesn't hit anything. All right. Collected Company's pretty good. I like that. I think I like that more than Baleful Strix. Arguably, I should have played out the Dryad Arbor there. So question here. Do I want to play anything? I know that my opponent has an Ancient Tomb in hand. I think I'm going to collect Company here just in case I hit Opposition Agent. Just the Rex Age. Not the best. I'll hit the Exploration with this. Not the best hit. So we'll any order that. And we're just going to hit the Exploration. Yes. They can fetch a land here. Got an Ancient Tomb. Okay, let's open with Baleful Strix. Black, blue. Alright, I'm just going to play a fetch land, and I'll get the attack in. Let's see what you got. Crop Rot. Okay. My opponent now knows that I do not have opposition agent. Is this Mazavith? It is. That's fine. Alright, they still take 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can deal 6 next turn. I think that'll be the plan. And hopefully that, I guess it doesn't quite turn off the Ancient Tomb because the Ancient Tomb can tap with the Yabamaya. Okay, they've got a Nurza Saga. That's all their lands that I know about. I don't think I care about putting their graveyard back, so I'm just gonna. I don't think I care about putting my own graveyard back either. I think I'm just gonna go no target. Surgical's interesting. Well, let's swing with everything. Yep. Take 6. I think I play out the Dryad Arbor here. Just as another attacker. My opponent's at 1. Alright. Let's go. They can make 1 construct token. I don't think I care about anything else. I guess they can wasteland my Dryad Arbor. Got Dark Depths. Dark Depths is a thing. They're wastelanding Dryad Arbor. Okay. I won't do it. I don't think I want to surgical anything here. I guess you do surgical here just to make sure I know what I'm playing with. I guess I'll surgical the wasteland. I think that's better than any of the other alternatives. My opponent has a lightning bolt. They're brought in chokes. I think I'll just update this drawing. Okay. Sounds good. They have a lightning bolt in hand. We'll go to done. So if I attack with 4 creatures, they can maze 1, saga 1, bolt 1, and then they take 1. So they just die. Like, I don't see any way out of this. You can maze 1. All right, you bolted the Baleful Strix. Sure. You can maze 1, saga 1. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't see any other way out of this, right? My opponent has regained their clock on me, actually. I might restart MTGO between these match. Alright, I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so let's see. We were bringing in all of this, bringing in these, bringing in these. Boarding out Maryland, boarding out Orcish Bowmasters, boarding out, I think, 1 Force of Will and 2 Hull Breachers, at least. I wonder if you board out a Collected Company. Still feel like that card's pretty good. Where am I at here? I'm at 62. Huh. And I think I definitely want all of that. Okay. Yeah, maybe it is 1 Collected Company and maybe 1 more Force of Will. Oh, you know what it was? It was an Uro. Because Uro isn't very good because it's a legend. Okay. Yeah, let's start with this. See if we can get there in game 3. I've restarted MTGO, so it's fast again. Hopefully I can play timely. Yeah, hand looks good. It's got basics. And it has an Ether Channeler for a fast Merit Lage. I'll keep. My opponent has mulled to 5 again. Pretty rough luck for my opponent. To be fair, I've had pretty bad luck myself today on the mulligans. That's a good draw for me. Even if they bolt it. Sure. Okay. So I think holding up Endurance is the right play here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just play a Bayou and hold up Endurance. And I'm going to cast Collected Company in my opponent's main phase in response to Urza's Saga. You've got a token. So assuming they do this here, they're not doing anything. Okay. Are they not doing? Oh, they just search for Expedition Map. Okay. That was weird. Well, let's Collected Company. There's the Oppo. Nothing I can do to that. I love that. I love that. Let's attack with the Endurance. And I'm just going to play the Verdant and pass. I'm holding up Hull Breacher, I'm holding up Force Negation. Nothing I can do to that, at least not right now. Okay. I'm going to Hull Breacher here. And yeah, I'm not fetching out another thing. Okay, Leovold's good. I'm gonna swing here. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's see what you got, buddy. You've got a maze. I draw a card every time. All right. We're going to cast this and bounce the construct. All right, and we'll just pass the turn. I want to hold up Force of Negation. Yep. I can always Green Sun for a Rex Sage here too. Okay, you got it. Nothing I can do here. So I'm totally going to Green Sun for a Rex Sage and swing in. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Interesting that my opponent hasn't done anything here. That's fine too. I don't care. Maybe I should have forced that actually, just to keep an artifact off the board. Maybe. Gotta fetch out. Now we'll cast it. We'll get a Rex Sage. We're going to blow up the Shadow Spear. And here I will not attack. Not a lot I can do right now. I need to... Don't think I have another target. I guess I could get Grist. Time's running low. Let's get Grist the Hunger Tide. And I'm going to sacrifice the Ignoble. I'm just going to swing with everything. 20 seconds. Time's super short. I think I have to F6 through this turn. Let's see. Did I get there? Got there. Okay. Whew, that was super tight at the end. Super tight. Ah, man. 16 seconds on the clock. Surgical's in his hand. All right. Well, I was able to get there. Okay. So, thoughts on the deck. Sorry, some of these games got super tight and I had to probably get a little quiet for the video. Thoughts on the deck. I don't really think we saw matchups where Orcish Bowmasters was very good, but I still think this card is very strong. You know, we lost to Red Prison, where it actually admittedly would probably be okay, and Painter, where it also would have been okay, but we didn't see it in either of those, any of those games. But the other games were what? What do we face? We faced Lands, we faced Show and Tell, and we faced Burn. It's kind of not good in any of those matchups particularly. I guess it's okay in Burn in that it puts out a blocker, but so this card, we didn't really showcase it very well here. I have to say I was not very impressed with Slow Gurk in this deck. My thought process with Slow Gurk was it's good with Otawara and Boseiju, and then I think some of the other lists that I saw for BUG CoCo were running Ramanap Excavator with Wasteland, and to be fair, I don't think that would have been like particularly strong either. I think and the reason why I went with Slow Gurk over Ramanap is, as you can tell, like the blue count is super dicey. So I was hoping, run Slow Gurk over Ramanap, run some colored sources over Wastelands, and as a result, you'll have a better mana base. You'll have more blue for Force of Will. But the mana base still felt extremely dicey. So I don't know. I'm not super sold on Maryland in this list, even though that kind of that's a lock piece that you can win the game with. It also has some synergy with Gaia Reach Sanitarium because then they can't draw. It also has synergy, like you can put it in off of Collected Company in response to a brainstorm or something like that. But I just sort of don't think you're going to get people with that, and yes, it does lock the game out with Opposition Agent, but uh, sort of it sort of feels like Christmas Land. Like you're not going to get everything. If you already have an Opposition Agent and then you're able to cast a Maryland and the opponent can't respond to anything, sure, you win the game, but that's might be a little bit of wishful thinking. I didn't get anybody with Hull Breacher. I guess I didn't. I only played against one Brainstorm deck, um, which also was kind of a reason why Orcish Bowmasters wasn't very good here. I mean, if you look at this deck, I have 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 4 Hull Breachers, and a Maryland and a Leovold. That's like 9 cards to beat Brainstorm decks, and I faced one Brainstorm deck. So I don't know. Maybe I got a little bit unlucky in the matchups. I think I definitely didn't know my sideboarding particularly well, especially against Painter. Like, I definitely made mistakes early on. Still was able to salvage into a 3-2, so I'm happy about that. In the sideboard, I think the Rex Sage was good. I think the Masked Vandal, like this card is kind of in here for Death and Taxes a little bit, because other than Ether Channeler, I don't really have a permanent answer to. I guess there's also Otawara, but other than those two, I don't really have a permanent answer to Cauldra Complete. So my thought was, Masked Vandal will be the answer to that, and it'll have applications in other matchups. But you have to be very careful with Masked Vandal, because if you Masked Vandal and they endurance your graveyard or something like that, like it just does nothing. I brought it in against Painter, but my opponent played a Soul Guide Lantern, and that basically turns off Masked Vandal. So I think this card just may not be good enough in the sideboard. I'd probably trim that. I think the rest of the sideboard felt pretty okay. I think I didn't bring in Plague Engineer. Maybe like it's conceivable that you don't need Plague Engineer with the 3 Orcish Bowmasters, and maybe it should just be some other like form of removal, another Murderous Rider or something like that, another ETB creature. Not sure. Yeah, overall, the deck ended up feeling okay, um, but I don't think that this is like a challenge winning deck right now. Um, I guess I haven't really put it through its true paces because I didn't get to see Orcish Bowmasters, but yeah. And it's also possible maybe a third Uro instead of Slowgurk is a good answer. I mean, Uro is always a good creature to have, and sort of like having Slowgurk in play and then being able to get back a bunch of these channel lands might be just kind of wishful thinking. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it's kind of a fun deck. Uh, didn't get to showcase everything that I wanted to showcase, but it still felt pretty good. And as you saw, even though I started off pretty weak, I was able to salvage into a pretty good run. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Now that I have Orcish Bowmasters, I'm hoping to put together a few videos with this card because I think this card, any black deck that's running creatures, I think Orcish Bowmasters is probably a good card for that deck. So there's quite a few decks from Dead Guy Ale to some of the other decks I've played in the past that I think this card really makes a difference in, and I'm looking forward to showing it off. Cool. All right. Have a good rest of your day.